Turn the love up a little bit louder. Rep the king just a little bit prouder. Putting hope on the radio. See why I'm gonna let them know. It's the inspirational power hour.
Hey guys, you are listening to the Inspirational Power Hour podcast. Thank you guys for checking out this latest episode. Now today, guys, I have a very special guest hanging out with me, gospel music veteran, award-winning gospel artist James Fortune. He's hanging out during this episode and he's talking about his latest release, Dream Again Live from Rock City. And we are talking about how he has had to make adjustments during this period of quarantine in 2020 with all of the things that we have going on. So we're talking about the new project, new music, some old hits, his 16-year history in gospel music, 11 albums, not including compilations and features and so much more. So guys, listen, make sure that you stick around for this incredible conversation. As always, make sure that you are following online on Instagram, on Twitter at Chandra Wise, and on Facebook. Make sure to like the Inspirational Power Hour fan page. All right, guys, let's get right into this conversation with James Fortune.
It's the inspirational power hour.
I am incredibly excited to talk to this amazing gospel artist who have brought us so much great music over the years, and he's back. He has a brand new release that we're going to talk all about, guys. I'm talking to none other than James Fortune. How are you, sir?
Hey, my sis, Chandra, how you doing?
Listen, sir, I am here and I'm well, no complaints. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I am great. Despite everything that's going on, God has really been faithful. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And your family, everybody's doing well?
Yes, everyone is good. Everyone is healthy. Everyone is doing very well, and staying close and just, getting adapted to this new normal for now. But yes, everyone is doing great.
Good. So let's get right into this. You have a brand new release, Dream Again, live from Rock City. This is the live release of your Dream Again project. First of all, let me say this. First, let me say thank you for my Dream Again shirt. I love it, James.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, you're welcome.
Listen, I've been wearing it out during this quarantine. I know people are sick of it. I've been wearing it out.
I love it. You know what? And like I say, that support, and people need to be reminded during times like this. So I'm sure when they see that shirt, it reminds them that they can still dream.
Absolutely. So for this particular project, you gave us, like I said, it's the live release of your Dream Again, but you also gave us some great throwbacks, and we're going to talk all about this. But tell us what inspired you to do a live release of this project.
Well, you know what? It was really a live concert that we did. After Dream Again, we did like an album release concert. And so in that concert, this was basically what happened that night. And then in the midst of this, pandemic, of course, we weren't able to tour. We didn't, weren't very busy. So we were sitting around, and me and my producer, Aaron, were just talking like, man, we can release this as an actual digital release. Like what happened that night, because we knew what had happened was so powerful. And it was just like, man, it was just, God just really showed out and blessed us in an amazing way. And so we started kind of working on it and getting it mixed and mastered, and talked to E1. And so it really wasn't on purpose, honestly. It was kind of like God had set it up to where that night, we thought it was just for that night. And of course we streamed it live and everything like that. But we were able to go now and have a release and get over 500,000 streams in the first week. It's like mind blowing to me.
And personally, I absolutely love live albums, especially when it comes to gospel music, because I think it really gives us that feel of being there and in the moment. And I love your live albums, because even the last one that you did, I remember I was there. And this one is great. So, guys, I want you to make sure that you go and check out Again Live from Rock City.
Well, I was going to say, and I think that's one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we kept was the live feel. A lot of times people, you do live recordings and you go in and you try to make it so perfect in the studio, fixing everything and overdubs. And so we didn't, I was very specific. Like, I don't want that to be, I want this to feel like, even though people can't go to church, that they can still have church and that it can be like a worship experience in their car, in their home, at work, wherever they may be.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, James, you've been in gospel music and ministry for how long now?
16 years. Yeah, my first album came out in 2004.
16 years. So when I think about the catalog of James Fortune, which at this point is quite vast, over 16 years. So how many albums? How many albums is that, James?
11. Yep, 11.
Okay, so I counted right. So there was 11 albums, and so that's not even including your compilations and features and things like that. So 11 albums.
There's been other things I've worked on as well, but 11 releases.
So you've written some of gospel music's most powerful lyrics, some of the most relatable lyrics. Is that intentional in your writing, or is that just the way it flows out of you?
I just think I write just from my own experiences. So I love encouraging people. It's kind of been, my theme. I never, even though I may alter the method or I may alter the approach, I try to keep it uplifting and encouraging. I think that's kind of what God anointed me for. I think that's what God called me for, and it's what people have truly been blessed by, because I'm just being myself. I'm writing from the heart. I'm writing from experiences. And I'm also writing from the testimonies and things that I hear from a lot of my supporters and people that reach out to me for prayer and that share their testimonies with me as well.
And James, I think God's timing is everything. I don't even know if yet you understand how impactful those lyrics are or going to be. I was reading an article the other day, and it talked about how mental health specialists are anticipating such, in terms of crisis behind this year. You know what I mean? And I don't think we've seen all of yet the impact of 2020. But so that those lyrics to me are incredibly powerful. And even when I think about your first single off of Dream Again, I Am, first of all, let me say, I Am just does it for me every time, James. No, I'm being really, really serious. The first line of that, I found myself, especially when everything first started shutting down, just kind of saying those lyrics, that first line, I have everything I need, over and over again, even while I looked around and didn't have everything I needed. Say that's such a declaration. So, that song was very impactful. When you wrote that, I'm sure you we had no thought that 2020 was going to look like this.
Yeah, no, 2020, this is supposed to be our year. Like everyone, of course, declared, 2020 will be the best year of your life. And, and I don't know if it's too late to say that it can't be, because sometimes the best year doesn't mean it's the year with the least amount of problems. Sometimes the best moments of our life is the struggle and the strength that we gain from going through those struggles, and the wisdom that we gain from going through those situations. So, I didn't foresee this pandemic happening. But I do believe with my whole heart that even the pandemic can't change the promises of God. And that's why I can honestly say, even during this season, God has allowed me to continue to prosper and be in good health, which is a blessing.
And I've heard a lot of artists talking about how they've had to just kind of reassess and even pivot during this period professionally. Have you kind of experienced the same thing? You talked about that a little bit with this album and not being able to tour.
Yeah, it was definitely different, and that's what kind of blew my mind with the success of Dream, this release, Dream Again Live from Rock City, because I haven't, usually I am able to tour and go out and go to all the different markets and do meet and greets and meet different people, but I haven't been able to do that this time. But man, God has still been faithful. We're able to use Zoom and how you're doing now, sharing your platform with, using the phone interviews as well. So yeah, it's truly been a blessing. I think, God, these moments bring out the best in us, and it helps us be more creative and innovative as well.
Yeah. And even regarding church, because you are the, are you the creative pastor? Is that right? For Rock City?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Rock City Pastor Mike Jr. Yeah. So, we're, of course, we haven't been in church since March. We've been doing virtual, and based on how everything is looking, we won't be back at all this year. It may be 2021, unless something drastically changes based on what he's kind of been communicating behind the scenes. And so we don't really know yet. We're being prayerful, we're being hopeful. We don't know how the cases of people are going to obey the social distancing guidelines and the CDC guidelines and try to get this thing curved back down in the right direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you look back on this year, years from now, and first of all, let me say congratulations. You have a new addition to the family. Congratulations on that.
Yes, a baby girl, Ryan. Yep, she's 1 month old now. So thank you. Yes, we're excited. Everything. She was born healthy and everything, even during this, COVID-19. So that was a blessing as well. So thank you, Shonda, for that.
So when you look back on 2020 and even describing it to her, what is your, how would you wish to describe this season, this year?
Yeah, well, so far, of course, the year is not over, but so far it's definitely been a year of, you got to look at, we've been dealing with a physiological pandemic and also a virus, racism. This has been an extremely tough year, of course, being from Houston and George Floyd, where he spent most of his life. There's so much that has happened this year. It's going to definitely be a year. I mean, not only her, but all of my kids will never forget.
Absolutely. Absolutely. James, thank you so much for taking time and for hanging out. Guys, make sure that you go and check out Dream Again live from Rock City, and make sure that you're blessed by this project. James, I appreciate you so much for taking out time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you always. You always a great supporter of my ministry, and that means a lot to me. And I appreciate you for that.
All right. Thank you guys for checking out this week's conversation with gospel recording artist James Fortune. Make sure to check out his latest release, Dream Again, live from Rock City. As always, continue to stay safe. Continue to do everything that you can to keep you and your family safe as the numbers are continuing to go up. They are not going down the way we want them. Remember that God blesses us to be a blessing. Stay safe, stay focused, stay encouraged, and I'll see you next time.
It's the inspirational power.